Hi crochet friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stefania and today is another episode of my Will It Plant series. This series, inspired by Niche Crochet's Will It Rat series, explores different non-traditional yarns to see if I can crochet them into different plants. I've tested out a number of different non-traditional yarns already, and if you'd like to see those videos, you can check out the playlist in the description. Getting into the holiday spirit, for this episode I'm going to be testing out to see if I can crochet using this tinsel garland. I wasn't sure what kind of plant I wanted to try to make with this garland, but my partner saw the spikiness and suggested I make a cactus, so we're going to do just that. I've got my 4mm Susan Bates hook, which I think is the right size for this garland. If you like this kind of video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. I make new videos every week, including check-in videos, crochet tutorials, and other craft content. In the month of December, as a thank you to my first 100 subscribers, I'll be releasing 2 new videos every week. If you want to be a part of the next subscriber special, make sure you're subscribed as well. With all of that out of the way, let's get on to crocheting and see if we can turn this tinsel garland into a plant. Like a lot of crochet projects, I'm going to start with a slip knot. That seems to work well enough. Now the garland is kind of shedding already, so let's hope that enough stays on the garland to create a nice result. Starting with this chain, I see that it's already going to be a little difficult to see the different stitches, so that'll be interesting to see how I can manage. For this cactus pattern, I typically chain for the length of the cactus and then work in the back loops only until I have the circumference of the cactus that I want. But if I can't see the stitches, then I won't be able to tell which are the back loops. So I might just have to end up with a regular rectangle and rely on the wire that's going throughout this garland to kind of shape this project. Alright, that's long enough of a chain, so let's head on into the single crochet stitches. It does seem to be working, but like I mentioned, it is pretty impossible to see the individual stitches, so I'm relying on just the feel of it all. Oops. I just dropped my stitch and cannot... Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm really just going off of feel here. I can't really see what I'm doing at all. I'm not sure if you can see the constant shedding of all these little bits of plastic. I'm a little stuck here. Let's see. My hook is literally stuck into this project. Let's see what we can do. I'll push it through. Okay, that was pretty salvageable. Okay, we finished our first row, and it does seem to be working pretty well, all things considered. Although all the fuzzy bits make it harder to see the stitches, it also hides any potential mistakes that might be in there. I'm going to continue on with the next row of this project, but I think I've decided I'm going to just abandon the whole back loops only portion of the project and just go with what I can feel. I didn't mention at the beginning, but I've bought 3 different garlands. Each are about 2.7 meters long. Between the initial chain and the first row, I've already gone through about half of this garland. So I think this is going to be a smaller cactus than I had anticipated. But let's keep going. Having a little difficulty here finding the stitch that I'm supposed to go into. That's another row down, and we're nearly out of this garland. So I'm gonna see how I can attach this to the next one. How this garland is put together kind of reminds me of how chenille yarn is, where there's typically 2 threads that hold all of the fluffiness together. This one's got 2 wires twisted together holding in all of the fluffy plastic bits. So I'm gonna try to join these in a similar way that I would join chenille yarn to each other. You first have to sacrifice some of the fluffiness on the end so you get just the wire. And after giving that a couple of twists just to secure the end, I'm going to take both ends of the wires and twist those together. Now with chenille yarn, I would usually just use a lighter and slightly melt the tips together after this point, but with wire, I'm just going to twist it around the garland to hold it even better. And there we go, that's a pretty seamless join. So back to crocheting. This is working roughly as well as I had imagined it would work, but I think in hindsight it would have been a bit easier if I had crocheted the garland along with some regular yarn, just to help me see the stitches a bit better. I'm sure I've dropped a couple of stitches in each of these rows, but it's roughly still a rectangle, so I must be doing something right. I initially chose my 4mm hook because I wanted to keep the stitches pretty close together in case I needed to add stuffing into the center. However, I don't think I'm going to end up stuffing this piece, so I probably could have used a larger crochet hook, and you wouldn't have really seen the gaps in the stitches due to all of the fluffiness of the garland. There's another row completed. Another row is complete, and we still have quite a bit of our second garland left. Well, that piece was almost long enough to complete another row. Luckily, I've got one more garland to go, so let's attach that and finish off the piece. I'm going to use that same technique to attach these last pieces together. This is the third or fourth time that the hook has just slipped completely out of these stitches. But luckily it's not too difficult to go back and find the loop that I dropped. There's that next row complete, and it looks like we have enough for at least one more row. Alright, that's as many rows as we're going to get out of the amount of garland I bought. So let's see if we can close up this square and turn it into a cactus. I'm trying to crochet the 2 edges together to make a tube, but I'm really struggling to even feel where the different stitches are. Uh-oh, I dropped my stitch again, but I was able to find it not too bad. Well, I managed to close the cactus all the way up to the top. I can't really tie a knot in the wire to finish it off, but honestly, because it's wire, I'm just gonna kind of smush it together and call it a day. Well, here's our completed cactus. If I wasn't the one to make it, I don't think I would think cactus when looking at this. It almost kind of reminds me of a pickle, but that's probably just because of the circular bits. I don't know if this was a successful project, honestly. Not only was I unable to achieve like a really cactusy look, but based off the amount of plastic that just shed off of the garland as I was crocheting with it, I don't think I can honestly recommend this as a non-traditional yarn that you can crochet with. Even though all of the bits of plastic were sticking to my hands as I crocheted, which admittedly contributed to all of the shedding, this honestly wasn't the worst texture of non-traditional yarn that I've tried crocheting with. It was doable, and the rustling as I crocheted was honestly kind of nice. It definitely beats the squeaking of other non-yarns I've tried to use. Like I talked about while I was working on this piece, I think there are some other things I could have tried to make this a more successful project. But as to the question if you can crochet with just a tinsel garland, I would honestly say no, it will not crochet. Thanks so much for watching till the end of the video. If you liked this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. That way, I'll know that you want to see more of the Will It Plant series. If you have any ideas for other non-traditional yarns you think I should crochet with, or other plants you think I should try to make, leave those suggestions in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!